All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about Future. He's come up in our conversations before. Future dropped 2 back-to-back #1 albums this year. Mask Off is doing really well. Are we ready to talk about Future being a top-tier artist?
Listen, this is where Complex starts trolling. Because this question, even though I like, this is the problem I have with Complex and also like Stans, because they make you have to criticize somebody you like. I like Future a lot, but
wait a minute. Are you just shitting on me over my first question? No. Do you want me to rephrase it?
No. I'm shitting on
these niggas act.
Angel Diaz or Rocco created this question because it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I like Future, but now I got to point out the flaws that make Future not a top tier artist. Future is only a top tier artist if we're thinking about mumble rap. Okay, if we're talking about the entirety of what rap is, or we're really having a conversation, he's not in that. In mumble rap, he's at the top. His child or fucking like bastard son, Young Thug, is somewhere in the mix. But he's not top tier when we talk about just rap. Okay, despite what we see with like his singles doing well, Mask Off doing well, despite what we see with him dropping albums like motherfucking McDonald's dropping, like giving burgers out, but no.
Not impressed by the back-to-back #1s.
No, he's putting up numbers, but Future is doing something that any successful business would do, capitalizing off hype and buzz. And people have created this Future hive, the Black Twitter, y'all are to blame, and Future's just kind of been formulaic, just dropping shit, and I like some of it, not all of it, but Future's not a top-tier artist. He is top-tier among what he does, but not in the entirety of rap. No.
I'm scared to hear what Joe has to say.
Yesterday on this show, I said that Future produced low-quality music.
Fast food music, I like that.
Yeah, but I caught a lot of heat for it because that sounds offensive. It sounds, just off rip, it sounds hurtful and harmful. It sounds like a diss. But today, this point is exactly what I was talking about. Low quality as in he produces quickly. It does not take very much time for Future to produce a body of work. In whatever year that was, the DMX had released those 2 albums in the same year and went platinum. That was unheard of, unheralded at the time. Today, when you're able to turn albums around quickly, the way that Future's able to turn them around quickly, you get what we have here today. Now, is Future a top tier artist? Yes. Future is a top tier artist because of impact, because of what he dictates in the culture, which is another term for impact. The music he produces, like I said yesterday, it's high quality, low quality music. I think the confusion comes, and much to what you just said, in his ability. I think that there probably should be another word for this genre of music well, you're calling it mumble rap. I don't want to call it mumble rap because that discredits what they do, and I don't want to do that because the same way that high-level MCs chastise them for doing that.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a title.
The same way that high-level MCs have a hard time dumbing down. Like, we can't do what Future does. We can't. Future finds melodies better than majority of the people in music, and today to be a top-level MC, that's what you have to do, which leads my conversation to Epic Records. I would like to gear this to a much bigger picture for me.
Let me ask you a question before you jump into that, right? And by the way, I agree with you, the melody thing. I call him Future Fandros, okay? However, are you saying, when you say Future's a top tier artist, in success, I agree. But if we're talking about top tier in terms of skills, I don't think so. So are we making a distinction, like in terms of success, which involves impact and other things like that?
This is where the line is blurred because people like you don't normally like to gear this conversation towards skill when we ask about where someone's rank is.
Well, I just did though. That's why he's not a top tier.
If we're talking about Future skill, absolutely not to people like me who cherish wordplay and lyrics, and I'm from a different era. Today's era, okay. Future is great at all of the things that they that they want you to be great at today. But let me get to Epic, because this is where I get confused. And let me just provide a little bit of backstory. When Kevin Liles and Leo Cohen left Def Jam Records, L.A. Reid and his staff, they are the people that took over in Def Jam, right? So naturally, they began to have meetings with all of the artists that were on Def Jam and L.A.'s style of artists and Leor's style of artists. Now you got L.A. meeting with the likes of Ghostface, meeting with the likes of all the hardest Def Jam acts, myself included. And what we walk in and see is R&B fame. L.A. Reid is from R&B. He's the stuff R&B legends are made of. But when you come from hip hop, and when you come from the hood, and you know all the elements that the culture was built on, and you see this man with pointy shoes and these foreign suits and these weird glasses, telling people at Def Jam at the time that there were too many words in their raps. That was confusing to me. In my 20s, that was really, really, really confusing to me that someone this with this much cachet and this established, because nobody could ever say anything about L.A. Reid's taste in music. But R&B, I want to be very clear that that's R&B. And hip hop and rap, what the fuck does L.A. Reid know? I challenge anybody out there to answer me when it comes to that. So when I get to L.A. Reid, the head of Epic Records, where Future is iconic for so many reasons. They have changed not only the way the music business is, but how the consumers even perceive the fucking music. Because now, 10 years after L.A. Reid was saying there's too many words in music, now there's no words in any of the mainstream music. So my larger point being, at the top, there are way too many executives that really don't know shit about music. Rap music, the culture, the hood, some of the things that, you know, people like me identify with, but they maybe have some knowledge in some other areas, R&B, and somebody like me can directly connect that to today's soundscape and music, where you need to have a melody, you need to be able to find melodic pockets to even have a career as a mainstream hip hop artist. When have we ever taken anything that Epic Records said as hip hop Bible? Tell me. I challenge anybody out there to tell me, outside of everybody inherited from LaFace fame. Because when I looked at the roster this morning, you were there, you saw me. When I looked at the roster for Epic, you have Outkast, right? That's LaFace fame. They're grandfathered in. You have Khaled. Khaled is from that Def Jam fam when L.A. Reid was over there. So now that's still relationships. This game is all about relationships. So that's over there. That don't count now. French is over there, but that's Puff. Puff has relationships with L.A. Reid. So that's relationships once again. Look at the stuff they're doing outside of that. Bobby Shmurda. We don't have enough time for me to get into how L.A. Reid and Epic Records mishandled Bobby Shmurda and exploited him. We don't have the time for me to get into that. But Future now, when I look at Future, and I'll wrap this up just by saying, when I look at Future and see Future and his style of music and the way that he is maneuvering in this climate, I directly connect it to L.A. Reid and stupid fans.
So are you blaming L.A. Reid for
You're
what
fucking
Future
right,
is?
I'm blaming
Future
L.A.
is?
Reid. No. I'm blaming L.A. Reid for the lack of balance in today's soundscape of music. Future's amazing. Future's great. Not only is he a great artist, because he's doing what you want him to do. Not only is he a great artist, he's a great person. When I met him, anytime I've ever met him, sweetest, kindest guy you want to meet. You want to hear those stories when you meet artists. So he's great. I'm not blaming this on Future.
Wait, hold on.
Future's from Dungeon Family fame. He comes from hip hop royalty. What he's doing is hip hop royalty today. It's hip hop royalty today. I blame the executives. I never blame the artists. I blame L.A. Reid.
So you're blaming the executive for actually giving the fans what the fans seem to want?
No.
You just feel like they've steered the culture entirely.
No.
Do you feel like it's unbalanced right now, the landscape, like Joe's saying?
I don't think it's unbalanced. I think from Epic, the successful acts, they probably look in a certain light. However, I feel like they're realizing what the fans want. They're giving it to them. I don't think that L.A. Reid is consciously making a decision that, hey, let's go to these rappers who not necessarily care about bars or they're mumble rappers.
Let me help you out. A lot of young people get their news information from you. So you're well versed in who's popping in the mainstream culture. So now let me present this question to you.
Okay.
Name all the artists that are relevant, air quotes, relevant in mainstream culture and popping, and tell me which one of them are not melodic. I'm saying that there's a reason for that. I'm saying that
Kendrick
that
is
didn't.
melodic.
I'm saying you fucking kidding me. Kendrick is not melodic. Yes, he is melodic.
Not really melodic.
He is melodic. Listen to every project Kendrick has ever dropped in his life. And
Melodic
they're
as in what? Like,
melodies. Melody. I'm only going by the context
I mean,
of the English
music
language.
is actually melody.
Rapping is not though. Rapping is not though. Rapping
he does a lot of that.
Rapping is not melodic. That's why it's rapping. That's why singing is singing. That's why the line was
Are you
never
saying
blurred.
Kendrick is singing?
Today, Travis Scott, melodic.
Yes.
Drake, melodic.
Yes.
Wale, Kendrick, melodic. Anybody you name today,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if
fucking
Kendrick is
Chance, melodic.
I'm
Kanye,
not sure if Kendrick is aiming for
melodic.
melodic.
I don't care what you say. This is not up for debate. Any rapper that you name today that has mainstream success is melodic, and if they are not melodic, they are chasing it, i.e. French Montana featuring Homeboy, that unforgettable song that I fucking love. It's
Sway
chasing
Lee?
a sound. It's
That's
chasing
music, though.
melodies. It's not music. French is on fucking L.A. Reid. It's Epic's L.A. Reid. It's not coincidence that this stuff is happening. The music business thrives off of the naivete of the audience. This stuff is not coincidence. It's not coincidence.
I have a question for you, Joe.
Yes.
All right, so things in the industry do shift, they change over the decades. Do you think that a different executive, like in a few years, can again change this course? Would you want that? It
Do I
sounds like
think
you're
that-
unhappy with what's happening
No,
right
I'm not
now.
unhappy. No. I'm not unhappy with it at all, but we have to recognize why the climate is why it is. I mean, if you're paying attention anyway, all of these artists are great. All of these artists will probably be largely responsible for globalizing hip hop. Because hip hop may not be popping in Africa without Drake putting a bunch of African drums in his music. You know what I mean? So we got to appreciate where these people are taking it. And as somebody that loves the culture, we always want our tomorrows to be better than our yesterdays. I want all the awareness in the world on hip hop. I'm not one of the older artists that are angry and mad at what's going on. But it's hard to judge and quantify what the likes of a Future does, what a Travis Scott does, because they are not rappers. They're not traditional rappers. They're not traditional
But rap is
MCs.
evolved, though.
They're not traditional artists. Okay, so we're evolving. We're evolving into what? We want our rappers to sing and dance. We want our singers to rap and dance. Like, what are we evolving to?
It's a mix. Like, so the genres are really mixing, where you can't really tell a rapper from an R&B.
Okay, but I don't want
want
to fucking hear that shit. You know why?
You don't want to hear it.
No, none of us should want to hear it. Know why? Because the same opportunities
Why not?
and luxuries that are afforded to other genres are not afforded to us. That's why we should not want to hear it.
Continue.
What do you mean? There's nothing to continue. You can't exploit us and treat us like, I mean, this might be a false equivalent, but when Jimmy Graham was lining up all of those years as a wide receiver, but the Saints wanted to pay him as a tight end, to me, it's the same exact thing. It's the same thing. You can't exploit us in pop culture. Right? You can't take our sound and nationalize it across country, across R&B, across, like, you can't just take it and we get nothing. We get nothing. That's my point.
Okay.
I could expound on this. I don't know if we have enough time. I just want anybody out there to tell me when L.A. Reid or Epic has dictated anything that niggas in hip-hop determine as cool, fly, or fresh. Let me answer it for you. He fucking has not. You know why? Because he ain't spent the fucking second on a block. He ain't spent the fucking second around some real niggas somewhere. He's had money his whole fucking life. He been pointy shoes his whole fucking life. He don't know what we think sounds hot. He don't know. He's relying on people out there to tell him, which is why he keeps fucking it up and getting it wrong. Niggas that love the culture will have a problem with that, DJ Akademiks.
Which executive has, though?
Which executive has what?
So which executive has done the stuff you claim he hasn't?
Go Google Leo Cohen.
Okay.
All right.
Google him.
So we
Google him.
So you're saying he has more.
Go Google Rick Rubin. And I hate to be the guy to bring up all of the old school executives, But I just want to tell you, hip hop wouldn't be where we are if gentlemen like that go Google Russell Simmons.
Well, a lot of
if
people have
gentlemen
criticism of Leroy Cohen as well. Well, though.
I got fucking criticism of Leroy Cohen.
So how, in one sense, are you saying, hey, Google these people in terms of? I'm guessing you're assuming.
Well, I believe in the yin yang theory. For every good, there's bad. I'm not saying Leroy Cohen is some perfect hip hop angel. I have mad Leroy Cohen beefs. However, the amount of good he's done, what he's contributed to the advancement of this culture. When I start talking about 360 deals, when I start talking about how social media is utilized today, Leroy Cohen has done way too much in hip hop. I challenge anybody out there to tell me what L.A. Reid has done in hip hop. Not R&B. In hip hop, not R&B.
Listen, to wrap
in hip
this up.
hop, not R&B. Hey, to wrap this up, one of you niggas in Epic gonna call my phone later and tell me y'all got a problem with some shit I said. Guess what? I have no corporate ties. I have zero corporate ties. Let me make my position very clear while I am sitting here. I am unlike them. I have zero ties to any of these niggas. Fuck them all.
Academics, can we?
No, listen. I am with Joe to a certain degree. I just don't completely believe that we could just blame how music is shifting completely on
Is
LA
Future and MC, yes or no?
Is Future and MC? I would say no. Okay. I would say no. I think Future is in his own lane. Is he a top tier rapper in terms of success overall?
And Future,
yes.
Future, you're amazing. Don't misconstrue anything that I have said today with confusing the fact that I think you're amazing and March Madness is one of the greatest songs I have ever heard in my life.